Alright guys, Rich here from the RCNetwork, and this is going to be build update number 5 on my 3 racing Sakura D3 CS Sport. Now it's been quite a long road here, and I've gotten all of the electronics installed on the vehicle now, and the only thing I have left really to do is to go ahead and program the ESC to my remote and plug in some of the receiver leads into the actual receiver. So got just a couple more things to do. I kind of ran out of time today, so I wanted to shoot this video and show you guys how all of the electronics kind of look in the car. Now it's definitely different installing a motor at the very front of the car, and I try to position the ESC as close to it as possible, but there is some length of wires on this thing that you'll have to take in consideration for, because there's probably a good 6-inch span, and by the time you maneuver the wires around things and the front shock tower and everything, there will be probably about 8 to 10 inches of wires needed. So I couldn't use the stock wires from the ZTW ESC. I had to go ahead and use some Novak Superflex wires that I had just in stock here at the RCNetwork. So far, everything's turned out really nice. I went ahead and I also installed the couple of upgrades that we talked about in the last installment here, including the one-way front diff and also that belt tensioner in the center there. And it's kind of funny because I think I actually got the wrong belt tensioner, so I went ahead and I made do with what I had and just kind of had to slightly modify it to make it work for my particular application. So I'm trying to grab the deals here. There we go. So the particular belt tensioner that I purchased was this guy right here, and this is actually the replacement for the rear tensioner to make it aluminum. So the one that comes stock with the car is a plastic one, and this one right here is the actual pink anodized one, the aluminum one. So I went ahead and installed it in the center of the vehicle and just made it work. The other thing here is the aluminum front one-way differential. You can kind of see that one right there, and that was really fun to install after you have everything together on this car. So keep that in mind. Definitely pay attention to the instructions that come with it, because if you don't install it the correct direction, you won't have a one-way, you'll have a wrong-way front differential. So, but back to the car here. As far as the electronics that I installed, of course you have that Racing Rocket 13.5 turn motor in the front here. Very nice motor, I've gotta say. Nice motor tabs there to solder onto. It does have a sensor wire on there. I believe this is not the stock one. The stock one was like a 4-inch one, so I had to get like about an 8-inch one to put on there, and I believe it is an LRP sensor wire. I might be wrong, but I believe it is. Got all the Novak wires coming off of it. A little bit tricky getting it to kind of go in at an angle right there, as you see off of the motor tab, to miss the motor, the front kind of bulkhead braces right there. So a little bit tricky getting the soldering in on there, but it worked out pretty good. Once you gone over here to the ESC, there's the ZTW, the Beast, the 120 amp censored ESC. It fit in there very nicely, right in between that top brace and right where the bottom chassis kind of flips up there. So you can kind of see I have that sensor wire, which is actually underneath all of the motor wires there. So went ahead and kind of color coded some of the motor wires somewhat. So got the reds, the black, and then the blue in the center there for the B channel. So worked out pretty nice, and then I kind of corresponded the shrink tubing too. So kind of looks all nice and neat. There's the HPI, just a little receiver I had on stock. Still need to plug those things in and kind of manage that particular the wiring right there. There's the MaxAmps 5450, the Touring Spec battery. That thing fits in there very nicely. And you'll see there that I have about like 2 millimeters of clearance between the top brace and that battery. So very nice battery. I believe it comes in right around like 23, 24 millimeters in height. So a little bit lower than your standard like 26 millimeter 2-cell lipos. On the flip side here, let me flip this thing around. You'll see the CYS Servo, that thing went in there nicely. I think I showed that in the last video, but it mounts in there really nice, no issues at all. Now, if you happen to purchase this particular belt tensioner, you're going to have to do some assembly, or disassembly I should say. You're going to have to remove the whole top plate. You're going to have to drill a hole into that kind of somewhat carbon fiber-esque top plate for the mounting hole. So I used the existing mounting hole, and then I had to drill one right next to it to put the screw through. But the screw comes in from the underside, so a little bit tricky getting that thing in, but once you remove the 9 screws to get the top plate out, you can pretty much install that thing. And I just kind of fashioned a bearing I had on hand right there, and then also I think that is an 8 scale buggy wing kind of protector right there. So it works out perfect for what I'm using it for as far as the belt tensioner. So that's it. That's the Sakura D3 CS. Pretty much got everything installed now that I need to before I start going to the body, and then I probably will be switching out those wheels and tires. From what I've read and spoke to a couple guys out there, these are the sparking ones. These are the ones that if you run it on concrete, they'll start shooting sparks out. So probably don't want to run those. I may just see how it works, but I will probably switch it out for some of my favorite T-drifts out there, and not sure on the body yet. If you have suggestions on a body, throw it down below. I've been kind of looking at, of course, running my Honda HSV, I believe it's called. I have an extra super body too, a clear one. They need to paint up, and then of course I got the Porsche body. I'm not sure what I'm going to run right now. I'm also going to be installing those stealth body mounts. I think I covered in a different video. Maybe on this one I might put them on this Sprint 2. Not sure what I'm going to do yet, so we'll see. Anyways, but that's the update. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this update of the Sakura D3. And as always, thumbs up and subscribe. That's it for now, guys. Over and out.